you so much for coming. We do have translation available. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you put an earphone on, but the first 5.5 minutes are in Russian. So it's okay for the next 5.5 minutes. Okay.
4 года назад я впервые узнал, что существует такая профессия, как instructional designer. В то время я работал в школе в городе Кембридж. Там вел занятия по информатике, также обучал коллег методам преподавания IT. То есть я учил не только детей, но и взрослых. После года работы я обратился к своему начальнику с просьбой отправить меня на курсы повышения квалификации в знаменитый MIT. В конце концов, он находился буквально через дорогу от школы, и не секрет, что это один из лучших университетов в мире. Я точно был уверен, что получу одобрение, однако мой директор сообщил, что существующий бюджет не позволит мне этого сделать. К счастью, в прошлом году несколько гарвардских студентов по одному проходили практику у нас в школе. Это открыло возможность нам, преподавателям, посещать курсы непосредственно в Гарварде. Я не стал долго думать и согласился пойти в Гарвард, тем более он был еще ближе к школе. Вообще, знаете, было бы здорово, если бы все студенты могли учиться по соседству с Гарвардом и MIT. Стоит сказать, что я уже выстроил свое расписание в соответствии с курсом. Однако планы изменились, и в Гарварде не нашлось похожих курсов, которые позволили бы мне совмещать работу с учебой. Хотя нет, один курс все-таки нашелся. Это был курс под названием «Введение в instructional design». Кстати, неудивительно, занятия проходили каждую субботу рано утром. Тогда я понял, возможно, эти субботы изменят мою жизнь. Собственно, так и произошло. Любопытно, что до поступления в Гарвард я не знал о существовании профессии instructional designer. Но, сам того не подозревая, я им стал еще 30 лет назад. Когда-то мне было 11 лет, и я разносил газеты, чтобы заработать на свой первый компьютер. Посмотрите, сейчас мне 46. Я говорю о том мальчике, который мечтал о своем компьютере в далеком 82 году. Между прочим, это 2 года до появления первого Macintosh, 10 лет до появления первого браузера и черт знает сколько времени до появления Microsoft Word. Я бы стал первым человеком в доме и вообще в нашей семье, у кого есть PC. Более того, компьютера не было даже в нашей школе. Получается, я был 11-летним мальчиком, который начал копить деньги на то, к чему никогда в жизни не притрагивался. То, как я впервые открыл компьютер, я думал, для чего они нужны, до сих пор остается для меня загадкой. Но я помню, что всегда хотел научиться создавать компьютерные игры. Моими самыми любимыми были Space Invaders и Missile Command. Я, не открываясь ни разу не в баре, где моя мама работала простой официанткой. Мне понадобилось чуть больше года, чтобы создать необходимую сумму денег. По идее, это должно было занять больше времени. Но мне повезло, так случилось, что я попал в больницу с аппендицитом. После операции я еще немного пробовал в больнице, но приступить к работе смог только через пару недель. Все это время моя мама и младшая сестра подменяли меня. Конечно, чтобы я не потерял свою должность. Итак, сарафанное радио разнесло новость не только о моем аппендиците, но и о том, что я копил деньги на компьютер, которого не было ни у кого.
So I began doing instructional design many decades ago, as you heard. I had to design because I couldn't find the learning for myself. I had trouble finding a book that would teach me how to make Space Invaders. Please stand up if you've ever played Space Invaders. Can you stand up if you play you have the marching aliens. Hands are good enough, and then down below we had a rocket that would go trying to destroy those Space Invaders. So what was my motivation to learn? I wanted to make something cool. Instructional design is the art of teaching what you don't know, taking complex things and making them more simple for people. So right now I'm passing around a book and a set of cards. The book is here. So I ask each of you to flip through the book briefly and pass it on. But I'm more excited about this. What if you could put 16 cards? 16 cards in the hands of that child, 12, 13 years old, to design their own video game. Now, what I wanted when I was young is something that would show me exactly how to design Space Invaders. Every step that I would have to take to make my game exactly the same as what's in an arcade. But I realized through writing a book, there was something I didn't know that was even more powerful. It's pretty powerful to hand a book to a child that will teach them to do exactly what they want to do. But what's more important for us as educators and as designers is to be able to hand something to a child that teaches them the skills to do a whole range of things. To teach them what they want to do now and enable them for the things that we don't even know are going to be necessary in the future. That's the real challenge that I want to share with you. If your child is in my classroom today and they graduate in 5, 6, 10 years, we don't know exactly what skills they need. We don't know exactly what jobs they're going to be looking to secure. Did we know 10 years ago what were going to be the most important and exciting jobs today? Some. But when I was in college, there was no World Wide Web. Anybody else go to college before you saw the first web browser? I guess I'm the only one admitting to being over 40. There's one in the back, a few. So how could we prepare kids 20 years ago to be web designers? We need to challenge them to think critically, creatively, and to organize information in a more clear way. Design is just simplifying things. So what I did is I took a 375-page book and I took all that content and tried to condense it down into these 16 cards. So the cards show kids how to use this software called Scratch that enables them to make their own animation and video games. We'll have a workshop at 16, that's 4 o'clock in my country, right across from here. 2 hours of all the Scratch you could possibly want to try out, which I'm very excited about. But what we need is a set of cards that don't give every single step. The front of the card challenges a student to do something. How do you change the background for animation? The back shows the possibilities. Not one way to do it, different ways. Different pathways to be able to accomplish what the child wants to do. Starting very simple, just by choosing or drawing a background. As the cards progress, they gradually get more challenging. From choosing a graphic to moving something on the screen, to animating things on the screen, and gradually introducing each of these programming blocks that snap into place. Scratch was designed to provide multiple pathways into creating projects. Taking images, animating them, and adding interactivity or behavior using very simple programming blocks that snap together just like Lego. So controlling things on the screen using your keyboard. Very powerful. Many adults have never done this before, have never programmed and controlled their computer. 2 different ways to get the same result. It's very important to me as an instructional designer to give the message to each student there's no one way to do anything. The world is getting more and more complex, so we want to give mastery, but we also want to enable choice. How do we use the mouse to interact with things on the screen? Even a 7-year-old now can program that behavior. So these cards take all the functionality of this computer software and reduce it down to one task. Did you notice each card is specific for one task that a child actually wants to do using this software, such as recording and editing sound, all within the same software. And then bringing characters to life, adding personality, adding a story, just like the story that we began with. What's incredible is, as students enter this software to create a game, they start thinking about other things they can do with Scratch. Not just animation, not just game design. What's most exciting to me as an instructional designer is, there are millions of Scratch projects now dedicated to teaching. Children have taken a tool that was designed to enable them to create games, animation, and all sorts of designs, and chosen to use it to teach. Just like I did when I was 13. I took what I had learned and I started teaching it to other kids. What's really incredible as I travel around the world is these kids are teaching not just other kids. They're increasingly teaching adults how to do the things that they're excited about. So my hope is that with these products, such as these cards, when you hand the cards to a child, you're inviting them into the world of digital design and instructional design. In fact, at our workshop, we're going to have a 10-year-old boy helping us teach Scratch today. Because increasingly, even though I wrote a book, I'm finding children know more than I do about Scratch. They can go deeper. So I want to enable them to teach using these tools. Making it very clear. So I don't have to master every new tool that comes out. As a teacher, that means I would have all kinds of trouble catching up to the kids. What I need to keep an eye on is pedagogy. How do they learn best? And how can I guide them towards continuing to learn on their own and in groups? By creating projects. I will challenge them, whether it's using blocks, or mathematical functions, or grammar. How can I challenge them to employ these new skills and develop new skills? Improve the skills as they're learning. So maybe it starts with video games, but increasingly what I want to do is channel their energy into as important a skill development as they can have. So the hope is, as those new jobs emerge, the things I don't know as a teacher or as an instructional designer, they have the confidence to be continually learning and exercising those skills. So what looks difficult at first is just what you haven't mastered yet. So to teach what you don't know, the most important thing to do first is to check in with the children about their prior learning. We know this. Human-centered design is about finding where somebody is and learning about what they need and bringing them with us as we develop. So my hope is that maybe they don't need a 365-page book. Maybe we can just give them some basic cards and basic skills and then gradually build on them. So I invite you all to come to our workshop in a few hours. But also I'm very excited to announce that at Scola 1329, there's a group developing a creative computing lab where we can explore best practices and share them with teachers, in the hope that increasingly we can demystify some of these tools that have been intimidating to teachers. And my colleague Narina has a team right now translating a free curriculum developed at Harvard University that's going to be available to all teachers in Russian, so that you can gradually go through very tightly designed curriculum. Really a model curriculum, not for you to do it exactly the way they do it at Harvard, but this guide for you will be like the cards are for the kids. You can take that back and employ it to engage students in your own school. And I'm sorry, I think I talked through the time, so there isn't quite time for questions. But what I will do is walk through those doors, and I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can. If you need help, I can recruit one of my friends to translate for me, since I apologize, I don't speak Russian yet. But I want to thank you for your time. Thank you all so much. And please, share your passion for learning, because you will be thrilled to see how much kids enjoy teaching what they know, especially if you're not ready because you're in a subject that you don't know yet. Spasibo. Thank you.